The ancient Greeks divided the world into 4 elements. They said everything in the world can fit into one of these 4 categories, or the combination of them. The 4 elements are earth, water, air, and fire. The 4 elements can be found in the macro and in the micro of everything here on earth. In the macro, we see it in the 4 seasons, spring, summer, autumn, and winter, and in the 4 directions, east, west, north, and south. In the micro, we can understand that our being holds all 4 elements in it, whether it is the physical form of solids, fluids, gas, and energy, whether it is the different parts of our own human system in the form of flesh and bones, blood, air, and energy, or even in the more spiritual way of grasping our being, our physical being, which is earth, our emotional being, which is water, our thoughts, which are air, and our spiritual parts, which are of the fire element. In the astrological wheel, we can also see the appearance of the 4 elements in the 12 sections of the wheel. Each one of the astrological houses or sections or signs is attributed to one of the elements, and there are 3 signs or sections related to each one of the 4 elements. The 2nd, 6th, and 10th sections or houses, which are related to Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, are of earth element, and together they create the earth triangle. The 4th, 8th, and 12th sections, which are the signs Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, are related to the water element, creating the water triangle. The 3rd, 7th, and 11th parts of the zodiac, which are known as Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius signs, are of the air element, creating the air triangle. And the 1st, 5th, and 9th sections of the zodiac, known as Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, are the fire sections, and they create the fire triangle. The earth element is represented in the physical, tangible world. It includes our physical body and everything perceived by our senses. This is a vast category that includes almost everything that surrounds us. The soil, houses, clothes, food. Money also fits in this category, but not only that. The earth element also relates to our journey to obtain more money and more possessions by working. It relates to the way we take care of our possessions and our physical body, and much more. The earth element is wide and vast, as it includes everything we can see or touch, everything that we can grasp with our 5 senses. The representation of this element is the actual soil, the earth, or the land we live on. It is constant, always there, tangible. It is the base for everything else, and from that, the signs that are related to this element, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, are dealing with these tangible areas of our life, our finance, our body, and the way we earn our living, manage our house, and so forth. The water element would be the realm of the emotions and feelings, whether it be joy, anger, happiness, or moodiness. Our memories and the way they influence upon us also fit in this category. Spiritual feelings and experiences, religious experiences, inspiration and creativity, they all fit in this element. If the earth element represented our physical body, the body that we can grasp with our senses, then the water element will represent one of the bodies that cannot be grasped with our actual senses, and this would be our emotional body. Our emotional body can be described as a water bubble that surrounds our physical body. a bubble that includes all of our emotions and is in constant movement. By the way, the movement of the water element or the emotional body is crucial since our emotions should always be in motion. Water has a natural flow to them, usually, unless they are ice or a swamp. But in order to have an emotional cleanliness, our emotions, the waters that surround us, should always be in motion. An emotion enters us as a reaction to something. It goes through our emotional body, and after a while it should be washed away, giving place for a new emotion to rise. This process can also be called the activity of our aura, everything that happens in our electrical area that is surrounding our physical body. Our emotions are the conduit for us to grasp the tangible world around us. We can demonstrate it by a stone hitting the lake. The life in the lake would not feel the actual stone, but the stone will cause ripples, and the ripples will change the water and cause effect at everything that is in it. The stone represents the tangible world, events, the earth element, and the way it affects us or creates ripples in us would represent the water element or the emotional world. If we don't allow our emotions to pass by as their effect is over, if we cling to anger or even cling to happiness in a euphoric way, it is as if we are building a dam that prevents the water from flowing. And what happens eventually is that the next emotional reaction from the next event we meet cannot pass by. And people by that can become disconnected from reality and become unresponsive to life itself. Many people live in a swamp of the emotional reaction of occurrences that have happened last week or last month and cannot relate to what is actually occurring at the present. The understanding that our emotions, just as water, should always be in movement is a huge clue for healing. For if the waters are not in flow, they are, as said before, either ice or swamp. Ice would mean the waters have condensed enough to change form. They are now a solid of earth element. And if we do not let our emotions flow and change, they become condensed, and this is the source of most diseases, as emotional reactions get condensed into actual reality and a physical problem. If our emotional element works well, it can do wondrous things, as it can make us reactive and allow us to feel everything around us. We can get what is happening around us, even if its source is finer and less tangible. We can get other people's emotions and other wonderful things that hit our waters. We can connect to inspiration, become intuitive, and much more. Its representation would be all the waters in their different forms in the world: lakes, seas, waterfalls, dewdrops. Water does not have a form of its own, as it is a liquid, but it flows from top to bottom and gets the form of its container. Water can hold life and clean itself. All the waters in the world are connected and flow from one form to the other in a cycle. The air element is all about our mental abilities, our ability to think, talk, and communicate with the world around us. If we will try to visualize the air body or the mental body, we will imagine many thin silvery wirings going out of ourselves and with the ability to connect to everything, close or far. It is as if when we think of someone, we send that person lines or thin wires that help us connect with that person. These mental lines can help us connect to any subject or any place in the world or out of this world. If we want to remember something, we will send it a mental wire. We have many and active nets of wires, and this is actually the way we can connect even to ancient knowledge or things that we have not learned in a formal way. In the less spiritual form of things, the air element can represent our social net, the net of our thoughts and the flow of ideas coming in and out of ourselves. The element's representation will be air and wind of all sorts, still air, storms, the whistle of the wind, and so on. The fire element. Everything originates from energy and needs energy in order to continue living. The fire element is the most difficult to explain, since it would talk about pure energy and something that has the less form. This is the vitality of the atoms, the massive amount of energy at the core of everything. This is the spark that makes things alive and ticking. It does not hold form or figure. It can be the atomic power, the electrical tension between plus and minus, the calories in our food, or the heat waiting to get released from the soon-to-burn tree. Usually, people are looking for sources of energy from outside of themselves. These days, people are lacking energy, not realizing that only by the mere fact each one of us is created of many atoms and holds nuclear power, we are actually filled with energy.